Before Israel's attack on Iran, it carefully tested the airspace in the region. Freely maneuvering over Jordan, Iraq, and Syria, Israeli jets attempted to enter Turkish airspace that night. But this time, things were different. Stealth aircraft, the F-35s, which were expected to leave no more than a trace as small as a bird on radar, were detected by Turkey's advanced electronic radar and early warning systems. The Turkish Air Force immediately took action. Jets swiftly took off and initiated an intercept flight. On that day, Israeli aircraft were not just conducting a test, they were also trying to gauge Turkey's determination. However, Turkey was not defenseless. It spotted the supposedly invisible aircraft, tracked them, and drew clear boundaries. As Turkish jets took off, Israeli F-35s were forced to change course and flee the area. The balance of power in the region had shifted. Turkey did not leave this bold airspace violation unanswered. Those thought to be invisible were now clearly seen. Now that we've covered this brief information, let's turn to our main topic. After Iran, Israel's next targets are Pakistan and Turkey. Today, we will compare the military capabilities of Pakistan and Israel. Hello and welcome to our channel. Recently, concerns about Israel's discomfort with Pakistan's nuclear power and the need to control it are increasingly coming to the fore. Following recent military actions in the region, particularly those involving Iran, there are discussions about potential Israeli actions concerning Pakistan. What will you learn in this video? The military capabilities of Israel and Pakistan, the countries allied with them and global alliances, possible scenarios, diplomacy or large-scale conflict, nuclear strategies and deterrence balances. This possibility is not a confirmed fact, but it is an important issue in terms of regional balances and global security. An in-depth examination with facts, figures, and expert opinions awaits you. If you're ready, we're putting the power struggle between Pakistan and Israel on the table in all its aspects. The geopolitical balances between Pakistan and Israel have become critical elements affecting not only the two countries but also the entire region and global security. In recent years, Pakistan has been going through challenging times on both the political and economic fronts. The year 2024, with its contentious elections and fragile coalition government, deepened political polarization, creating great uncertainty in the country's economic structure. High unemployment rates, fiscal deficits, and a narrow tax base directly threaten Pakistan's sustainable development goals. The country, struggling to stay afloat with external financial support, primarily from the International Monetary Fund and China, is increasingly economically dependent. Especially economic relations with China could seriously affect Pakistan's foreign policy decisions. In the security sphere, Pakistan is forced to contend with increasing activities of armed groups along its border, particularly with Afghanistan. The safety of the local population and military operations are directly affected by the continuously escalating violence in this region. This situation could lead Pakistan to adopt a more aggressive defense strategy. Experts predict that Pakistan's ongoing war of attrition will further strain both its military capacity and economic structure. On the other hand, at the beginning of 2025, Israel finds itself at the center of a growing security crisis in the Middle East. Ongoing conflicts in Gaza and a fragile ceasefire in Lebanon are factors directly affecting Israel's regional military strategies. This process has pushed Israel to build a stronger defense budget, and the country signed one of the largest defense expenditures in its history in 2025. Since October 7, 2023, Israel has launched multifaceted operations against Iran's proxy groups in the region, increasing its military presence. Weakening Iran-backed groups in Lebanon, Gaza, and Yemen has become one of Israel's primary strategies. Operation Rising Lion, in particular, made significant waves with its actions targeting Iran's nuclear infrastructure. This operation is seen as a harsh application of the Begin Doctrine and stands out as one of the cornerstones of Israel's preemptive military strategy. Now, let's take a look at the graphics directly comparing the military capabilities of Pakistan and Israel, and then we'll continue with our analysis. This graphic allows us to see the defense budgets, personnel numbers, air, land, and naval forces of both countries together. This comparison reveals in which areas each country's military strength is superior and where they face disadvantages. Defense budget and military personnel. Pakistan's defense budget is $10.2 billion, which is about one-fifth of Israel's defense budget. Israel, on the other hand, has military expenditures of $46.5 billion, making it one of the countries with the highest budget in the region. However, Pakistan's military personnel number is approximately 3 times that of Israel. With a total military strength of 1.7 million, Pakistan has a significant advantage in terms of manpower. Israel, on the other hand, has a smaller but highly trained and equipped army. Air Force and technological superiority. Pakistan has 1,399 aircraft, ranking 7th globally in this regard. However, in terms of fighter jets, Israel is stronger. Israel's superior technology jets like the F-35I and F-15 Eagle have superior maneuverability and precision strike capabilities against Pakistan's JF-17 and F-16 fleet. Israel's advanced air defense systems could be a major deterrent against Pakistan's air power. Land forces and armored powers. While Pakistan has 2,627 main battle tanks, Israel's Merkava series tanks are fewer in number but stand out with advanced armor protection and high firepower. Israel's 43,407 armored vehicles are equipped with modern electronic systems and provide high mobility. Naval power and nuclear capabilities. In terms of naval forces, Pakistan has 8 submarines and 9 frigates. Israel's submarines are of the Dolphin class, used as strategic deterrents with precision strike capabilities. Both countries possess nuclear capabilities, but exact figures for Israel are unknown due to its nuclear ambiguity policy. Pakistan's ballistic missiles like Shaheen-2 and Shaheen-3 provide a wide-range advantage, while Israel's Jericho-3 ballistic missile has a much longer range. Air defense and strategic balance. Israel's multi-layered air defense systems like Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow-3 are superior to Pakistan's current air defense technology. These systems effectively intercept short, medium, and long-range threats, protecting Israel's regional security. So, what does this comparison tell us? Pakistan stands out with a larger military manpower and large-scale land forces, while Israel gains a strategic advantage with high-tech air forces, sophisticated air defense systems, and modern naval power. These differences are fundamental elements shaping the military strategies of both countries. International alliances directly influence these power balances. Although figures show increased support from Europe and the US for Israel, these balances may shift in the near future. However, Israel's regional security policies depend not only on its military capabilities but also on the support of global actors. The strategic stances of Europe and the US directly shape Israel's room for maneuver. The US plays a significant role in maintaining regional balance through its military aid to Israel. Joint defense projects and high-tech systems are factors strengthening Israel's regional deterrence. Europe is struggling to strengthen its own defense systems due to the large economic and military resources it has spent in the Ukraine-Russia war. These difficulties could limit Europe's military support to Israel. On the other hand, the inconsistency in U.S. foreign policy has led Europe to pursue its own independent defense structure. Europe's efforts to increase its defense capacity, through initiatives like the SAFE framework, are seen as part of its quest for independent action from NATO and the U.S. Turkey's critical role in this new structure has led to changes in Europe's regional security strategy. Italy's cooperation with the Turkish company Bayraktar is also an indicator of these changing balances. The decrease in support Israel receives from Europe and the US could put the country in a more challenging military strategy. Israel is largely dependent on military aid from the US, but as global balances change, this support could be interrupted, and Israel's strategy to maintain its military power might have to change. Especially the tensions with Iran, Turkey, and Pakistan have the potential to narrow Israel's diplomatic and military maneuvering space. Europe's changing security priorities and the US's lack of a clear policy on regional support could lead Israel to seek new allies. Pakistan views China as its largest external supporter in the defense industry. Between 2020 and 2024, 63% of China's arms exports went to Pakistan. This includes advanced technology systems such as Yuan-class submarines and Type 054A frigates. With the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, Pakistan's financial dependence on Beijing has further strengthened. Turkey and Pakistan, on the other hand, are establishing an increasingly deep partnership in defense and technology. Milgem corvettes and T-129 ATAK helicopters are concrete examples of this cooperation. Turkey's rising defense industry is helping Pakistan modernize its defense infrastructure. Pakistan is rapidly developing in the field of cybersecurity and is modernizing its electronic warfare systems with support from Turkey's defense industry. Turkey's advanced cybersecurity infrastructure and electronic warfare capabilities are significantly increasing Pakistan's digital defense capacity. Pakistan surprised global defense circles by demonstrating unexpected strength in cyber operations against India. The country's digital defense strategy, further strengthened by Turkey's advanced electronic warfare support, has changed regional balances. Israel, by continuing its conflict-focused strategy, is increasingly risking isolation. Constant military interventions and tension policies, while providing short-term security advantages, could weaken the country's diplomatic position in the long run. To secure its future, Israel needs to invest not only in military power but also in diplomatic solutions. While a full-scale war is unlikely, limited missile strikes, cyber warfare, and proxy conflicts are more probable scenarios. Consequently, diplomatic solutions and strategic balance have become more critical than ever to prevent regional instability. The global economic impacts of regional instability cannot be overlooked. An expanding conflict in the Middle East could significantly slow or halt the flow of Iranian oil. The worst-case scenario, involving blockades in the Strait of Hormuz, could push oil prices above $100 per barrel. Investors are turning to safe havens like gold. Gold prices are rising. Shipping costs were already increasing due to cargo diversions in the Red Sea, Houthi attacks. A wider conflict would further drive up prices as companies compete to transport goods from overseas due to rising geopolitical tensions in the region. High energy prices lead to increased costs for a wide range of products, food, clothing, chemicals. Analysts expect larger increases in monthly inflation figures throughout the summer. Oil-importing countries could experience higher inflation and slower economic growth if the conflict persists. Central banks will have less policy flexibility to deal with the shock of rising energy prices. This could lead to interest rate hikes, increased borrowing costs for businesses and consumers, layoffs, and a decrease in consumer spending. In conclusion, the geopolitical and military landscapes of Pakistan and Israel are complex and fraught with interconnected challenges. The fact that both countries possess nuclear power will continue to be the most crucial factor preventing a direct and full-scale conflict. However, limited missile or air strikes, cyber warfare, or proxy wars are more likely. In such a conflict, defining an absolute winner is difficult. The potential outcomes could be devastating. Therefore, de-escalation and finding diplomatic solutions are more critical than ever to prevent further regional and global instability. A comprehensive transformation and diplomatic solutions are vital for sustainable progress and global stability. Thank you for watching our video. Keep watching, don't forget to subscribe, and show your support by liking. Stay with love and peace. See you in the next video.